Improv Online. We are now recording for the world to see or not to see. And today, Dave.
Yeah, I'm David Hodgson, or Dave. Yeah, so I'm from sort of the Liverpool area in the UK, Liverpool Comedy Improv.
And this will be fun. Wow. So, will you start? I'll tag out. I'll give you a suggestion and you'll start the scene. And then I'll join you. If you think you need a scene partner, you just call someone. And the interesting thing in this is also you're allowed to leave the scene. And then I'll be stuck doing some kind of solo scene. Then you can come back as the first character or a different character if you find that is needed.
Okay.
So basically from the beginning, everything is organic. We do what we think is good, what we usually do. So to get a suggestion, I have asked people for suggestions, and I think there are 23 suggestions left.
Okay, go for 12.
12. This comes from Giant Chopra. And the suggestion is Fool in Love.
Fool in Love. Okay.
Fool in Love.
So yeah, the classic case is, where'd you start, or how'd you start it? You know, just being in love with anything can create all sorts of various other emotions. How do you overcome it? How do you put yourself through emotions of coming to terms with it? Yeah, the love of life, it's just like being there in the moment. It's just such a great feeling to be in, and not knowing where your life's going to basically take you. It's just such a great feeling to be in. And the surprise of the unknown can be frightening, can be exciting. So yeah,
we are on the same length here. It's this doubt. I've been wondering to ask her on a date, but I'm really scared of being rejected.
Brian, you should never underestimate yourself. Never underestimate yourself and what you can actually achieve, because yes, we have to embrace the reality of being rejected. There comes moments and times when, yeah, if it's right at the time, then it's right. It'll work.
But it's this opposite of being in love. Is this beautiful feeling, and then being rejected is just like a slap in the face, and this depressing feeling. I'd rather just stay in the being in love feeling.
Unfortunately, that's how life can be. It's like, everything can be all rosy and it can be great, but then you do get, as you said, a complete slap to the face.
So why would I want that?
It makes you a stronger person, in my view, because then that way it's like, it feels almost like that specific relationship maybe wasn't for you. You know, you felt it was working out, but then something comes up and it, you know, things what you believed used to mesh wasn't to be.
So that's your takeaway after that Cheryl said no?
It's like you're gonna fit, you know, you'll have a moment where you'll feel down. You will feel that love and everything that comes with it has its ups and downs.
And that's a feeling I've been sensing from you the last 14 days.
Yeah.
It's how do we break out of this? It's like we're just prisoners in our own emotions. It's like the Ferris wheel of love getting up and rejection. No, Ferris wheel is a bad picture. It's like the roller coaster. I mean, it goes down that fast.
Life, you know, as I say, look, life is a roller coaster, and what we do at our low point will get it back to the high point.
It's just taking so long.
You know, it's great that we're actually having this discussion right now, because it's a step in the right direction to be able to heal.
Yeah, I'll just step out on the loo for a bit. I mean, the coffee is going through. I'll just see you in a minute.
Yeah. So, I mean, oh, damn. Jeez.
Oh, Joe, I just asked Cheryl out and she accepted.
Great. Great. I mean, yeah, that's brilliant. You know, what do you plan to do? You know, what do you plan to do next?
Well, we'll go on a date, then I'll put a ring on the finger. Get married.
It's like it took me about, you know, probably a good 2 years before I proposed.
Oh. And then she said no.
She was like, we thought we were going to be at odds, particularly because of my job and her job and that. But we're in a position now where it's working. You know, I work as an accountant. She works as a lawyer. So it's like, but Sarah and I, we were able to get it to work. You know, it's like,
this is very organized. I mean, where's the passion? Where's the low euphoric?
It was, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was there at the beginning. It was there, you know, it was like totally new for both of us because we had not been in a relationship for quite a while.
Yeah. So what about now?
You know, we're feeling now we're still trying to, obviously our jobs for a moment took a bit of the spark, the joie de vivre and all that out of it for a bit. But then being engaged, we're finding that love again, finding that spark.
It sounds like the roller coaster just standing still.
In a way, yeah. If you see it that way.
So the ring on the finger will basically block the travel?
Not necessarily.
Well, that puts me in a big, I don't know the future thing. I had it all planned.
You know, it's great. Honestly, keep the plan. Keep, you know, that's your focus. You know, the big day, the wedding. That's your future. You know,
Yeah.
that's your future.
But after that day, it's what?
Well, you know, it's just basically the same. You know, to a certain degree, it's the same as now. Same degree as now, where you still get to go holidays. You know, any holidays, places you've not been to. There's the prospect of the patter of little feet, children. If you,
I just hear, I mean, like Louisa and Louis, when they got children, it basically took all the time. You remember we didn't see them anymore.
yeah,
They
I mean,
basically closed themselves into this small space.
I mean, being a parent is a big, it's a big, that's a full-time job in itself.
It scares the shit out of me.
Honestly, don't let it scare the shit out of you. It's like, there are going to be times when the children will misbehave, but it's fine. It's, as a parent, as the dad and their mom, it's finding the common ground. It's showing them how to behave in life.
This is so complicated. My life now is just, it's just so easy.
It,
So you're telling me it will be all complicated and
well, yeah, they don't. There is no book on parenting, because you might feel, oh, am I doing this right here? Am I doing it wrong? You know, you find these things out for yourself, and you know, provided, you know, in 10, 20, 30 years time, if they're like, you know, if they're if they're respecting people and, you know, in a great job, great. You know, you've done your,
so you're telling me the success of my possible parenting will only become visible in 20 years?
it's,
Whoa.
you know, certain things take time. You know, it's certain thing, you know, that's the love of being able to like love your immediate partner, love your children, and to basically, and to see them growing up and being the best people they can be. That's, you know, it, you know, if it takes 20 years, if it takes 25, 30, you know,
It's you're so reflected on this. It's like you've thought this whole thing through.
yeah, I mean, having nieces, nephews, and, you know,
Yeah.
kind of does prepare you for that. You know, it's no, you know, you take influence from other people. You know, it's like,
John, I'm just watching your eyes. Sarah's pregnant, isn't she?
yeah,
And you're worried as shit.
little worried about just, you know, how their education's going to be like, and, you know, schools, and I mean, yeah, that's kind of like, you know, we were expecting it. You know, we're expecting to have these difficult conversations.
And have you talked to her about it? It's
We've had,
like it's eating you up.
we did have one. We've already had one talk, and that was, we are due another one. You know, just like sort of, you know, about, is the house we're living in big enough? Is, you know, do we have a big enough car? Because you know, you need to be able to, like, all the buggies and toys that you've got to take with you, you know, to basically keep them occupied so they're not throwing temper tantrums and all that.
Oh, so that's why we were just slightly walking into this place looking for children's toys. I mean, this is not really. That'll be some years before they're old enough for this.
Yeah, and got this like little puppet. Yeah, because like that can be yeah. As far as that can be a parrot, as far, you know, as far as they're concerned.
And scene. Thanks.
Yeah, indeed.
This was a serious talk.
Yeah.
But yeah. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's. I mean, leading up to this, you get that adrenaline. You do get a certain degree of nervousness. You don't know how it's going to, you know, what route it's going to take. You know, but then it's as soon as I get into it, I'm like, yeah, that's the story. That's the route we're taking.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can go anywhere. And this one had a lot of, you played this organized.
Yeah.
Parent gonna be very reflected and interesting. Yeah. No, yeah, and it just shows the variety of improv. It can be stupid, hilarious, funny, and it could be quite serious. A talk like you would have in everyday life, or maybe more serious than in everyday life.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in our whatever jobs we all have, you know, we do improvise without even thinking about it. You know, you have to sometimes improvise. You know, if you're faced with a particular scenario, you've got to kind of literally go ahead and just improvise. And it's like sometimes you've got to take the risk that it might not necessarily be. It might work out, might be the right decision, but other occasions it might not, and you just go, okay, I hold my hands up, I made the decision. But then it's like you improvise another way which does work.
Yeah, the whole capability of adjusting in the situation, but also to, instead of having an argument, you just confess and lay flat down. And and that's things we do in everyday life. Maybe we should do it more. This whole vulnerability thing that we play out in a lot of the scenes is probably something that's good for real life as well.
Yeah, because you can just take that away and go, oh, how can I take what seemingly can be a vulnerable situation and make it seemingly sound like there's light at the end of the tunnel for it.
Yeah. But and at the same time, when we play, none of us know where this is going, and at the same time you're listening, where you pulling it towards, and what could I come up with that could pull it for a closure ending?
Yeah. And it's just like, you know, that's what I like about, you know, whether I'm doing short form or long form. It's obviously the short form, things have kind of got to be like instant, whereas obviously the long form you can draw it out. So you developing a character can be just as rewarding for both.
Oh yeah, and this I'm very fascinated about how we build the reality.
Yeah.
And slowly it fulfills, and then some moves are stronger, like the move I said when Sarah's pregnant. That's quite a high move to pull it in a direction. But you have the small moves and the bigger moves along this road of building this reality.
Yeah, because I mean, I think throwing a curveball like that can take the scene in a particular route. Think, oh, how would I react to that? And then a case of how either yourself or me, when faced with that, how we can seemingly take maybe what could be seen as a negative or huge negative and turn it into somehow turn it back on track to a positive.
Yeah, well, actually, I was walking with some friends yesterday, and it's like a group for certain purpose. It's a guy meeting talking about their lives, trying to express their emotions or learning to express their emotions. And some of the topics you came up with was there yesterday. And so it's, yeah, just interesting how stuff comes up. So yeah. How long have you been doing improv?
With Liverpool Comedy Improv, I've been doing it for about 5 years or so, about 4 or 5 years. I did touch on it briefly in university. This is going back like between 2006, 2009. But it wasn't done in any form of like, it was just like a module 1 year and that was kind of it. And it wasn't until I saw a show that Emma Bird had a troupe. Went to go and see it, and there was information regarding drop-in classes over in Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, go for it. Haven't got anything to lose really. So, and yeah, so gradually over the time, and then yeah, obviously this year it's been all online, so that's been an experience as well.
Oh yeah, it's a huge shift, and also a lot of yeah, there are small spots for everyone, and you get to play with different people like this.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if someone said to me last year that you'd be doing online improv with the likes of yourself, and anyone else like one-on-ones, then it's just something you wouldn't normally think of because but then it's like get the chance to actually do it and obviously meet someone who's very much like-minded and in a different part of the world who enjoys improv and without the need to travel essentially.
Oh yeah, because even though there's limitations on the Zoom, I actually feel because on a stage you have to look out on the audience, but here I actually get to watch your face the whole time and watch your facial reactions.
And like what it's one of those two-way streets. You're seeing me, while I am, and likewise I'm reacting to you. So that's what's great about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll say goodbye to the world out there.
Yeah.